Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Truth Table. Raising frequencies is my goal. This is a special series all about raising your frequency and helping to find some positive in a world of negative. And it's very hard on Facebook. I have so much trouble trying to stay positive despite my mission with the Truth Table. I'm still having trouble. And it's because I see I see the importance in the information, and I think it has value just so people, see what's coming. Uh, you know, what the plan is, what the what they're doing, government, what have you. But the truth table, we've talked about singing bowls, healing bowls, which enhances meditation um, and healing. I talked about 432, healing, breath work, meditation, shadow work. Um, Synchronizes with the brain waves, creating energy medicine. And today we're going to talk about holistic mental health, wellness, nutrition. And my guest today, Angeleen, is a life coach. Um, and she was, from my perspective, a divine feminine, a perfect example of divine feminine. She is very sweet, she's soft spoken, genuine, and and I bet I would bet that she's humble, too humble to consider herself a divine feminine. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but humility is part of being a divine feminine, and but the softness and the gentleness uh, uh, of a divine feminine is not weakness. It's not a sign of weakness. Other girls may tell girls, you're weak, but it's not weakness. It's actually a superpower. And being it so close right after Mother's Day, I thought it would be uh, excellent to have her on here as a mother, as a healer, as someone who cares about her fellow man, and she does a lot of work. And we'll talk about it right after this. And that music is in 432, and that's a kind of medicine as well. Um, so you might ask yourself, what is holistic medicine? Well, holistic medicine is a form of healing that considers the whole person, the body, the mind, the spirit, and emotions in the quest for optimal health and wellness. So I will bring on Angeleen right now. Welcome to the show, Angeleen. It's great to have you back for your third time. I think it's 3 times now. 3 times the charm. Welcome and thanks for so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I was actually trying to figure that out if I've been on your show or not or how many times. So
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
remember 3 times, then cool. I'll
I
trust
think
you on that.
I think I was on your show once. I
Yes.
think that's where the third is.
Mm-hmm.
And but you were on my show. I think we did a 5 hour podcast. It was
Oh yeah, there was a few
remember
people, right? It was like yeah, okay, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that was a
Mm-hmm.
long one. That was the longest one I ever did. And but there's 7 points to holistic approach to wellness, and I would like to get in touch on each one of them, just so people can be familiar with it. And also, you can find Angeleen on Facebook if you want to coach. Um, she is very well versed in that sort of thing, much better than I. But I guess we could start with emotional wellness and how important that is.
Yeah, emotional wellness in general. Um, well, as someone who struggled with um and was diagnosed with PTSD and complex PTSD, um, I had to learn a lot about regulating my nervous system, how to be
Mhm.
in my body. So I guess there's a lot of things I know around that topic. Is there anything specific, or just want me to name some different modalities that I've learned?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Techniques, I think we talked on this on our last show. We called it shadow work, and that is things that could happen from childhood that remain with us and really block us from our well-being. And so, shadow work is really addressing um, that and heading face on with it. And forgiveness is a part of that, I think. We have to forgive and understand, people that sin against us usually are just being selfish. It's a selfishness that, what I want is matters more than what you want, you know, whether you like it or not. And a lot of abuse is that way, Uh, my mother example, she would take things out on me. She had a stick in every window, and she beat the hell out of me with it, and over
Yikes.
really small things. But
Mm,
I had to deal with that for my emotional wellness. I had to say, okay, she was taking something that had no relation to me, and she was getting it out on me. So she was trying to deal with her own problems and
mhm,
used me as a vehicle to deal with it. So
mhm.
emotional wellness, I think forgiveness is a part of that. That we have to forgive um,
Yeah,
and understand why they did it. So we have to like focus on, okay, why did they do it? Were they being selfish? Were they using me as a dartboard? You know, and there's a lot of reasons. And then we have to say, yes, that was a terrible thing. You're a terrible person for doing that, but I forgive you. And I think that is the first step of emotional healing, emotional wellness, where we
mm,
can benefit from it on a personal level to have, and it's only one step of seven, but a lot of people have this problem, which is why I started with it, because I think it's so important that
totally.
we, because they will stop us from being well.
Well, I think a big first step is even becoming conscious of our pattern, because oftentimes if we come from trauma, we have, as children, made it mean something about us that we continued believing on into the present. And, hi. And the problem is it's usually a program that we're not even conscious of, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so, like, the first step to any healing is becoming conscious of the wiring and the beliefs that have been put in us. And then we can take that and rewrite that story, because we can rewrite it when, now that we're older and we have more understanding, we can reprogram ourselves to know that it didn't actually have anything to do with us. we always usually as a child will make it mean something about us, right? Something's wrong with me. And when we become conscious of that pattern, we can be like, oh, well, actually, like you said, let's separate this from us. This is something they were struggling with that they couldn't handle. They probably came from trauma that set them up on their unconscious path that was taken out on us.
Hmm.
And when we can become clear of that message within ourselves that it didn't have anything to do with us, we can begin to rewire and catch the programming. So we can become conscious of ourselves in a way that those before us that who hurt us were not able to do. So that's a big first step is the
Hmm.
becoming aware so that we can start to catch the old patterns and become conscious.
I would expect that when you're coaching people, that this is one big thing that you deal with is the things that are stopping people from going forward and becoming who they're meant to be. I would expect that would be a very common thing. Um, and then physical wellness. And sometimes these things can um, move forward to physical wellness, problems because of depression, and so it can develop into more problems that will slow you down in the future.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Again, it's the unconscious running our lives, right? Eventually, it will catch up with us.
Hmm.
However we cope, whether that's through anger or shutdown or eating for comfort or, like, whatever it might be, if
Yeah.
we're not conscious of it or we're not aware of what is actually going on in our body, I think
Hmm.
sometimes we become so used to the reactions in our body that we don't even pay attention to them anymore. We don't even think to really go down deep and feel into what am I feeling right now? What is going on in my body? And
Hmm.
just allowing ourselves to sit with that because I think on some level we're really scared to sit with what is actually going on with me because especially if you've been through a lot of trauma,
Hmm.
I think you've really learned how to not feel because that feels safest. And to feel almost feels like if I really sat and felt this, maybe I'd be overwhelmed or overcome by it or overtaken. Like it would be too much to feel the pain or the grief or the sadness or the anger. So we unconsciously just start to like shove that down and move
Yeah.
through life and
Yeah.
learn other ways to soothe ourselves without ever actually allowing that energy to move and change and transform.
Yeah. And I would suspect alcohol and drugs would be an
Mhm.
easy way to cloud the mind and not have to deal with that. But holistic medicine is based on the belief that unconditional love and support are the most powerful healers, and a person is ultimately responsible for their own health and well being. Other
Mhm.
principles of a holistic approach include all people have innate healing powers, and I think the holistic approach um, would empower people to regain their healing powers and heal yourself, you know?
Mhm. And I think even the word unconditional love though we need to be careful with because a lot of people coming out of trauma go two ways. They either can turn into abusive people, whether they're aware of it or not, or
Mm,
they can turn into the overly empathetic people who are coping through fawning and freezing
mhm.
and all of that stuff. And they think unconditional love is like the nailing yourself to the cross for the sinners kind of thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which we need to be careful of, and so one
Mhm.
thing I really like to point out is that often the love outside of us often reflects the relationship we have with ourselves. So,
Yeah, yeah.
how we are able to relate with and love ourselves in relation to ourselves will often wind up being reflected back to us. So, if we get into like a non-good relation with someone, and let's say they're it feels like they're never listening or they're never being present or whatever you want to point out, and then if you really sit with that and you think, or if someone's abandoning you, that's another really good one. If you really sit with yourself and think, wow, how much do I actually sit and listen to myself? How often am I abandoning myself? How often, right? Thank you.
Mhm. I don't know,
Like,
I think he
how
was talking to me. Just kidding. Sorry,
Yes.
sorry. I can't help myself sometimes. My brain hears something funny and I just have to spill it out. But yes, we have to love ourselves first because when you throw too much love at someone, like the unconditional love, and I agree 100%, you're not really able to love in a healthy way,
Mhm.
until you heal yourself and love yourself and not in love with yourself too, because that can go too far. But I mean, there's a difference between holistic and natural medicine. Like naturopathy, which you might hear called natural medicine, is a type of holistic medicine. Naturopathy uses only natural remedies such as herbal medicine and acupuncture to help your body heal itself. But some holistic doctors use conventional treatments such as medication together with such remedies. Um, but we're going to touch on 7 holistic um, things that are important. Now, I know you want to talk about um, this next point that I have, spiritual wellness.
Mm,
And that is tricky because it really depends what ideology you come from.
that's true.
Because spiritual means different things to different people, depending on where you're born. So
Mhm.
that's a tricky, I don't know how you would address that, you know.
Mm. It is very diverse, but I do love the study of energy and NDEs, plasma, quantum physics, just things that we can reflect both being seen in science and in the spiritual community in general and how they can tie together, you know? It's
Hmm.
good to have a spiritual practice. We do need to be aware of brainwashing because, I mean, or
Yes.
programming, I should say, because it's literally in everything. It's in culture, religions, like everything, right?
Political parties, it's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
Designed, I think they're all designed to separate us and divide us. And I think holistic is the reverse. We want to connect you with others and connect to your true self. And a lot of that
yeah.
is in healing. But spiritual, well, um, I think it's important, but I think people have been neglected on that front
Mhm.
because I'm ecologicalist. What the heck is that word? I can't. It's a big long word. Ec, a class uh, study of religions. That's all I
Okay.
can say. So people have said that we look like two earth angels. So I'm feeling very angelic today.
Awesome.
Thank you, John. We have the best people on the Truth Table, the best followers, and it's not a big group, but it's a beautiful group because I really spiritually believe that the right people see the show, the right people come. Um,
Mm.
it's not about me at all. It's really about the guest, the um, the mission. Like right now, it's about raising frequencies because we're getting a lot of down frequencies coming at us. And I don't watch cable TV, so I don't get a lot of negativity that way. But I
Hmm.
do get a lot on X, even Facebook, um, because there's people are sharing news that's coming out that is not helping us. So on a spiritual level, I think it's important that if you are unsure, that you reach out um, to to someone who studies religion. If you are a Muslim, then you need to read the Quran, and if you're a Christian, you need to understand the Bible. My issue is I look a lot deeper than that. I look at the original uh, Hebrew and I translated it, and because I'm a forensic, you know, uh, I don't just have blind faith. I refuse
Hmm.
to do that, and I'm glad because I did find changes were made, and I find that unacceptable. People deserve the truth, and I know you probably have questions for me. We don't
Well,
have to do that today, but we can if you like. I know you want to know what I think about God, and I could go for hours if we get on that road. We
yeah, that
can.
would be another live we should definitely do, as two people have studied the
Yes.
particularly the Bible in depth, and I know you have a much wider range of studies as well, which is very cool. So that should be fun to
I
ask each other
yeah.
questions on.
I think that would be great, and like just a show based on that. Like
Mhm.
right now, we're just basing this show on the seven holistic ways to wellness, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna spiritual is one of those. So
Yeah.
we can dig deep into that um, on another show, which I'll enjoy. That's my favorite topic.
Well, to keep on topic for this show though, like
Hmm.
yes, there's spirituality and there's religion, and I think that they can be separated and they can be combined. Like there can be spirituality within religion, spirituality without religion, but
Yeah.
I think that it's really about where we want to cultivate our relationship, and that is either with the world and the material and the distractions here and um the brainwashing and all that that is worldly and earthly material
Yeah. Yeah.
and physical. And then there is the spiritual, which is cultivating our relationship with our spirit, with energy, with what is divine or allows us to be in awe, because I think that's really important to be in awe. Like you were saying earlier about we don't want to be in love with ourselves, but
Hmm.
every day I can truly be amazed at or in awe of how loved I am by something that's greater than me, which humbles me. Like I can look at nature and be in awe, and that I'm so loved that this is put here. All of this is put here for me to create from and have experience from and expand
Hmm.
from. And it's also partially relationship with ourself, right?
Hmm.
Because it's all connected in the end. And just that our higher self that is connected to all of it. And there's many different modalities to get us there, right?
Yeah. And I simplify it. If you want to understand the creator, just look at dogs. Dogs are loyal and they love you unconditionally. To me, dogs represent the kind of love that our creator has for us. When we arrive home, they run to us. and they're happy and their tails are wagging. I think the creator has that kind of, I think dogs are a great representation of how the creator loves us. Almost like how a parent loves their child, you know? Because
Hmm.
we do. Our children can be bad and we might get angry, but we love them 100%. They never lose that 100%. I mean, I know there's exceptions and there's people that don't are crazy about kids and are good parents, but I'm saying generally that is normal, you know, to just want the best for your children and hope, you know, hope they find love and marriage and a happy life. I think that is a general, but I think dogs are a perfect example of no matter what, as soon as you get home, everything stops. You know, that to me is it represents it to me. It's a great
Mm.
represent, which is really crazy. Dog backwards is God. So it's like almost like a crazy coincidence. But I think that might help anyone out there that is very questioning. You would definitely want to watch our next show on religion because we are going to go deep. And you know, I'm very spiritual, and that's why I studied all the religions because I want to know as much as I can. Because based on your geographical birth doesn't mean you're right or you're wrong. So I look at it that way. I say, you know, they have information I don't. Maybe they have
Mhm.
something I need to know. Maybe there's something in their car. You know, when something is carved in stone, I have way more faith in that than something that is on a printing press. I have a lot less faith in that, you know. But that's so. I can't wait for that show. I we're gonna have a lot of fun on that because uh, it's something I love to talk about. So occupational wellness is our next point. Where you work, you
Hmm.
know, and some people don't have a choice on where they work, you know, and things are getting tougher and tougher and tougher. So this particular point, occupational wellness, is going to be a real challenge for our fellow man, especially now in Canada specifically. So
Yeah.
how would you try to help someone deal with that?
Help someone deal with it? I guess it would be very individual, but for me, I'm really starting to move into a different paradigm when it comes to work because it's about community and it's about being human together and where we can meet each other to create the wholeness within community. So I guess that can apply to anything, family, groups, work, right?
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Not
Yeah,
sure what else to say
like
about
my
that individually.
it, like if someone came to me, I would say, you know, if you're not happy with your boss, your job, you know, then the best thing to do is to seek out a job, another job, and change as soon as you can, where you know you will be happy. And I think if they needed help with that, I would do surveys and tests where we can find out what you're good at and what you love and help them to find their career path. You know, so
Mhm.
there are ways to help others uh, find occupational wellness.
Totally. Are you familiar with, human design at all?
Human design,
Mhm.
you mean biology?
No, it's like, how do I explain that? It's kind of a personality thing, but there's different personalities like projectors, manifestors, generators, things like that, and a lot of the times the most people are generators, which means they have the work energy,
Mm.
and there's projectors and um, manifestors that often see people. Um, so they're very good at seeing people sometimes even better than they see themselves, and how a workflow or group of people are functioning and can flow together, and see their gifts and pull that stuff together. And honestly, I think what I'm trying to get at is that there literally is wholeness within a group of people. Um, even if we don't fully, even if we're not fully sure of ourselves or where we belong, I think it's in community that we get to discover that with the different types of people and personalities that see us and pull things out of us. And depending who we're interacting with, different things and different gifts and are going to be pulled out of us within those interactions. So really trusting, and if something doesn't feel right, um again, that's more of a relationship with yourself thing. You really need to take the time to sit with yourself and listen to yourself, because whether you transform within that situation or to a point where you get out of it, it starts with really listening to yourself, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I've never tapped into that information, the human design. Um, it's said to be pseudoscientific New Age theory, um, but I don't know. Human design is one of these systems, and it differentiates itself by its focus on who we came here to be. Yeah,
Well, it's definitely helped me learn about myself
yeah.
as both an introvert that is very much more creative and expressive when I am alone, and also as a social prospector as well. So I was always very confused by that, in that I was both.
Hmm.
I really needed my time alone, but I was also very good with people at the same time.
Yeah,
And
and
um,
creative.
wondering why, yeah, wondering why most of my creativity came in my aloneness, right?
Yeah, I think we're
So
both the same there. I'm more creative with music. You create things, you make hats, and uh, so yes, yes. So we have a lot in common, that's for sure. Um, and it's good to have that time to yourself as well. And I've been single for a very long time, and but I don't feel like I've wasted my life at all. I feel like I've been very productive, and I love the song that's playing right now. It's my theme song for the Truth Table, but that's an example of something done in love, and just spending time, giving myself time to become and to be what I was intended to be, and as you're doing as well. And I know that I wanted you on this series 100%, raising frequencies, because I think we're both in that mind frame of self healing as well as self promotion and being creative and um, doing things for others. You make a hat that someone would love and show it off. Look at this, it's handmade. And that's uh, a beautiful thing to be a part of.
mhm. I can tell very quickly when I switch between inspiration and force,
Hmm.
right? In anything I do. Even in my artistic pursuits, I can tell very much so when I am in flow and feeling inspired and creative, and then when it's from duty and force and a job. And it's makes a very big difference. It's not the same. It doesn't feel like art when it feels like work. I love the creativeness, and I love to be able to tap into who I'm doing the piece for,
Mm.
so that I can receive that inspiration um, from the energy I pick up on, and bring that forth to like bliss the person with, right? So,
So you have a
yeah.
question. Let's see here from
hmm
John. Do you practice OBEs?
What is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to be more
Specific.
specific, please. I'm not sure.
OBE. Let me see if I can search it right up. Order of the British Empire? No, I don't think that's it. OBE. Obsidian Energy? No, 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 that's stocks. Architecture glass? Hmm. Yeah, you're going to have to be more specific. It didn't pop up anything that I can make sense. OBEs. Uh, oh, we are made to create. It's meditative.
Mhm. I see creation like we are creators. I think it's therapeutic to create because we're designed to.
Yes, that is it exactly. We are co-creators. When we create children, we're co-creators. Um, our animals co-create with each other, and the birds, So it's definitely we're all. I mean, that's the beauty of my perspective is that I love all creation, including the birds. And yeah, you know what I mean. I'm just fascinated that I get to live here and that they do their own thing and they have their own purpose. And I think they're probably less confused about their purpose than we are. I think they're more tuned
Mhm.
in because they don't have the mind control and the negative stories. They don't have any of that. They are based on living and life and food. I mean, life is very simple, and I would love to know what it's like, what's going through their mind, and like King Solomon to be telepathic. And I've been playing along with around with that idea. Would our dogs be nice to us, or would they look at us going, "Are you going to share some of that meat, that steak with me, or are you just going to eat the whole thing?" And aren't you going to look at me? So if animals could talk to us, we may not be friends anymore. Cats would probably be way worse,
Yeah.
eh? Don't look at me. Um,
And I mean, the
oh,
animal example is maybe a good picture for people, but animals also are very, variant, right? Depending on their owners and how they're treated.
um,
So you have a lot of nasty animals as well, right? So
okay, now I know what
just
OBE stands for. Thank you, John. Out of body experience, astro traveling.
mm,
So the question,
so
do you
mhm.
practice it?
Um, I don't go out of my way right now to practice it, but I do have a lot of experience with it for sure. I kind of grew up doing it and not even realizing I was doing it,
Wow.
and then kind of did it on purpose a few times as I got older, which was very interesting to experience. I wasn't even sure if I could do it, and I would talk to someone I've never met long distance and decided we'd practice and see if I could go through their house and see the layout of their house or where they are or whatever, and I was able to do it quite detailed, and that surprised me and them, but it was so much fun. There was that, but I've also, purposely had experiences where I've gone or have been in it felt like partial dreams, but in a way I knew I was there, um, and, where I was helping people heal who were in war. And then as a child, um, I came out of a lot of abuse. And this actually, I've discovered, runs in my family because my mom used to leave her body, and so did my father. And as kids, especially. And my dad was removed and put in jail for some of the abuse that had happened. And he even said afterwards that he would leave his body and come and visit us. And so I know it's very much in my family.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so And as a kid, I remember leaving my body and going for walks around my block, and I'd see different things. Like once I saw a pair of red shoes that were tied up and thrown in a bush um, around the corner from my house. And so when I had come out of it, I had went for a walk to see if I could see anything I saw on my walk, and it was all there.
Wow.
And that's when I started realizing that I really was actually leaving my body, right? And then, as my kids started getting older too, I would, do little games with them as well, like play something unusual in their playhouse, and we'd sit at the dining room table and see if anyone could see, anything unusual within the playhouse, and we'd play games like that. So, yeah, I think there's different ways of doing it. I've heard of somebody who would, like, do crazy things where they're almost dying to leave their body and then come back in before they die. I think it was,
My goodness.
someone who did a spinning something to do with spinning in NASA, and he would make himself unconscious all the time to have these out of body experiences and then come in back in again, and he had to stop doing it because it became too hard on his body, but there was a whole bunch of, like I think there's a whole bunch out there on that as well, but
Hmm.
I think it is a thing that happens, and when you study near-death experiences too, a lot of people, when the body becomes in too much pain or too traumatized, have left their body and watched their
Yeah.
body, looked down at their body, saw their
Yeah.
body, see what was going on, suddenly realized they weren't in their body when they didn't know it, right? And so it is a very real thing. So to do it as a to have it happen naturally as a protective mechanism because we can only handle so
Hmm.
much trauma or pain
And
before
that,
we will just leave, or to do it on purpose, that's all very interesting, right?
yeah, but I also think that is like a creation, like a creator thing, because
Mhm,
I also heard many people that have died and they loved it. There was no pain, no, they didn't want to go back because it was so beautiful in the afterlife. And I can see the creator like a puppy loving us, wanting to extract us from the pain, knowing that we're going to die anyway.
mhm,
Uh, so yeah, I mean that's where my faith is. I really believe that. I would love to astral travel like when I'm in the bathroom, just into the other room. uh, but honestly, I'm kind of scared of it. I don't know why. It kind of scares me a little bit, but I joke about it. But I don't think I would ever try to do it. I just trust people if they've experienced it. I'm all ears, because everyone has a perspective that everyone has a story I want to hear. Everyone has a story that can make you cry. I mean, that is the truth of it. But I think the worst things that happen to us um, are meant to be, even if they seem like mistakes, even like a bad relationship. I honestly believe that they are a training ground for the soul, like the soul to experience, because the soul has no injuries. The soul is beautiful and pure, and the kingdom of heaven is within us, and I believe that. And the soul, sees the body as just like a classroom, to experience. And with the creator, I think the creator is also very active and present and omnipresent, and a facilitator, like the greatest facilitator ever, you know. And we'll get into that in the next show, and I look forward to it. Um, I've never had an out of body experience, so I really don't know. But a lot of times people do see, even when they come back, they do rise above their body in the hospitals, and they do witness their body, and the doctors and nurses trying to bring you back to life. Oh my goodness, 12 times. That's horrible, man. Stabbed 12 times. Well, I'm glad you're still with us. I would not want to experience that sort of trauma.
right.
You know, that would be too much. But I'm glad you're still with us. Oh my God.
And you were saying about how leaving the body is also a designed protective mechanism for us. But even
Mhm.
before we leave the body, often if there's extreme pain or fear, like our body is preparing for extreme pain, it will stop a lot of functions of the body and release painkillers within our bodies to endure what we're about to go through. And so, again, in the end, it's about the training or the
Yep.
wiring of the body after, right? And
Yep.
learning how to rewire our bodies because those things that used to protect us and help us can often become very sabotaging um, into our future when they're no longer serving us but causing us
Mhm.
chaos, right?
So if we have a near death or die, it kicks in automatically. But you and John demonstrate that it is something that we can do. It's something we can learn.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's pretty fascinating in itself. That it kicks in automatically in the worst times, but it is an ability that the Creator gave us to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are people
Yeah.
that would want to learn astral traveling just to get the key codes to the bank vault.
Well, let's talk about drug experiences as well because we put substances in our bodies to have these experiences that we actually create naturally as well. And we
Mhm.
can actually get into a practice of feeling and being in our bodies and feeling that love, that energy, that gratitude, that awe, that happiness, and releasing those chemicals within our own bodies. Like our bodies are a pharmacy within itself that can create what
Yes,
we need. But we can tap
yes.
into that just like the out of body experiences, we can tap into that naturally as well. And I think some of us are I'm not gonna say better at it than others, like, some of us have practiced it to build that up in our bodies. Some of us also, though, were in such bad or oppressing situations that those chemicals are very low, and so they wind up taking substances to escape the heaviness and the depression of that, but we can build that up again over time, just as we lost it over time. It just takes practice, right? And
Actually, you did. Go ahead, go ahead.
sometimes it helps to have someone to hold your hand and be there with you through that practice, to get to that place to start realizing just what your body is capable of and what you're capable of because I think so much of us are on autopilot that we're not even aware of how capable and amazing we are and our bodies are. And
Mhm.
it's just so hard to get the discipline to tap in on a regular basis to rewire these machines that we have, these bodies that we have, that we just grew up with and were wired by our circumstances and our surroundings. And when we learn that we can take control of that and choose healthier things and work on ourselves, rewire ourselves,
Yeah.
I mean, the more you do it, the more you take your power back.
You know, you reminded me of something, a secret and a beautiful connection that we have with the earth and the plants. Now, a lot of people have heard about grounding, but if your body is lacking something, and especially now is a perfect time to speak about this, in the spring as we grow our gardens, if you put your seed before you plant it, put it in your tongue, on your tongue,
Mhm,
and it will read your body, your DNA, your genome, and it will input. If you're low on something, it will give it to you. The plant will
mhm,
respond to whatever you're lacking. And that is like I found this out not long ago, but what a beautiful it just shows how we're connected to earth
mhm,
as well,
and
as well as animals, but also the plants and the food, and it's there to heal us. And if we're lacking in something, it will give it to us.
mhm. Even the things that grow around us within our environment. So if there is toxins and poisons within our environment, our plants will adapt to that. So yes, we can be poisoned by things forced on plants that is poisonous.
Yeah.
I'm not negating that, but also there is also a realm where these plants produce what we need to survive and thrive in the environment we're in,
Hmm.
right? It's like even looking at all the weeds in the city that just pop up in the cracks of cement and all of that. And if you look into a lot of those, they are very powerful medicines that are
Yes.
very good for us and like often things that we need, right? So it's always good to research the plants around us for sure.
Especially on your property, if you bought a house, some of these weeds might actually heal you. Dandelions are amazing, and
Mhm.
pine needles of all things. We've got lots of pine trees. I mean, there's just so much. I had Renee Delaney on from Small Scale Farm. We talked about this, about plants. And I forgot to mention that. So I'm glad you got that brought in my mind because it really belongs in the Raising Frequency series. Because I want to give you everything you need. I want you to be well informed and empowered, and we want you to take advantage of the plants that are around us that can do so much, and we had no idea. Nobody, they don't teach it in school.
Mhm.
You're not going to learn it in class, and it's so sad. That's
There's
to me, that's such an important thing they could teach children about plants and the benefits of the plants, what they can do. I mean, we're not even allowed to say cure. You know, this plant will
mm,
cure this. We
yeah,
can't say
yeah.
that. Not allowed. And
Mhm.
that's wrong speak. So we're in Orwell's 1984, and so we have to speak differently, but we can still uh, speak, say what needs to be said without causing any trouble, any waves. And I think my lack of followers is why I'm free to do that. I
Mm.
haven't been fact checked in years. It's amazing.
Hmm.
In 2020 during COVID, oh my God, I was fact checked, threatened, you know, banned for, I couldn't comment, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. I was being punished all the time.
Oh, no?
So I learned how to speak. I learned
Mm.
how to, I learned I have to show the evidence. If I'm going to talk about something, I have to show the actual file. And so I learned to overcome their fact checking.
Hmm.
So we covered
Yeah.
occupational wellness. It is important, but also social wellness is also important. The friends you
Mhm.
choose. And, a
Um,
lot of us discovered who our real friends were in the last couple of years. And it is important. And I'm surrounded with beautiful people, I swear. You're included, John's included, all my guests are included that's been on this show. I feel so fortunate and to find you all. I think the creator helped me to find you. And I'm so grateful and humbled um, to have met you all, not met you in person, but to have found you. And I think the creator's involved in all of that. I think the
mhm.
creator connects us. And so where was I?
Um,
Social wellness, yes. But you
I
wanted
did
to,
wanna say a little bit more about the last one too, because there was also, a lot of evidence out there about how the different things that grow will in some way represent a part of our body, right?
hmm
Like the avocado is so healing and soothing for the stomach, and it looks like the stomach, right? Or like
yeah,
different things like that.
hmm
Um, so I think it would be so amazing to go back to nature. Like
yeah,
my favorite saying is that it needs to be in alignment with nature and what is natural. Um, Otherwise, I have a really hard time going along with anything I put in my body, you know?
yeah,
And I think we used to eat in rhythm with nature as well. Like we would eat meat and preserved fermented, naturally fermented foods in the
Hmm.
winter and fresh living things right off of the trees and things in the summer, and our bodies thrive like that. We like now we have to mess with all these diets and we're like, "Oh, we're trying to go into ketosis and then we're trying to eat all fresh and living and we're trying to blah blah." And it's like if we were just in natural rhythm with nature and eating real food, and it would change our lives, like and people make it so complicated, but it's like, just stop eating the chemicals, stop eating the unnatural things we wouldn't
Yeah.
normally eat in nature or
Yeah.
naturally, right? So
Yep. Yep.
and we'd have extreme health, so
And
Mhm.
you're right. The avocado does look like my stomach.
Mm. Yeah.
But that's an adorable way of looking at it. Um, yeah, and the tomatoes
Mhm.
red and it is good for blood flow and there's so many benefits and I feel like we're going to evolve where these things are going to be brought to school and children are going to absorb it and just absorb all this information and love that information. I want them to garden. I want them just every school to have gardens and teach the children to prepare meals with using the garden and getting their hands in there and grounding, taking their shoes off and letting their feet dig into the ground, just all these things that we could do better
Mhm.
and
I
create.
think the world will change when we take kids out of buildings and hard desks and artificial lighting and place them back in the dirt and the trees
Hmm.
and let them learn with nature. Like,
Yeah.
our world is never going to get back to a healthy state if we just keep pumping out human beings that are
Mhm.
disconnected from it.
And it's
You know what I mean? Disconnected from nature.
yeah, the government makes schools look like prisons. The cafeterias, the square buildings, and the discipline. Meanwhile, the lighting is causing a lot of the problems. I've seen experiments where they changed the lighting, and the worst kids were like in the front of the classroom. They completely reverted to paying attention, and it completely changed. And it was evidence that the whatever fluorescent lighting that they use is actually doing harm in the process of learning. And why isn't that good enough to change all the lights? I changed all my lights here. I used to have LEDs, and they're all
Mm,
incandescent now. So I'm learning too. I'm still learning, and that's the thing where we're always learning. It doesn't matter how old you are. There's always more. There's always more to learn. The more I learn, the less intelligent I feel. You know what I mean?
yep.
Because there's so
The simpler I realize that the more you learn, the simpler it gets, the closer you get to truth.
yeah.
And
And
mhm.
I think people deserve the truth. Children deserve the truth. I mean, I was upset with my parents because of Santa Claus, the tooth fairy. To me, that was a lie. I was crushed. And I might have overreacted, but I was still like, I was angry about it. Like, how could you make me believe in something that's a lie? You know? But that's the parents being programmed, and the schools pushing it. The schools shouldn't be pushing lies. They're supposed to be pushing truth. But yeah, I look forward, and I really believe that we are coming to a turning point for mankind because every country is dealing with the same kind of things. And we can do
Mm,
everything much better with just good people. We have people that are great at gardening that could format a curriculum and incorporate it into eating healthy because kids love to eat, but they're giving them terrible choices in schools. They got vending machines
mhm.
with pop, and it's not it's not good enough. It's not acceptable. And there's so many other things too, Like we could have people that create peanut butter or jam with healthy ingredients without any garbage in it. You know, food can be amazing when it's healthy. It doesn't have to have all these preservatives and and if you need preservatives, then maybe try something different. You know, it's okay if something is going to go bad, let it go bad. Don't poison it so it lasts longer. The way of thinking is coming back, I think, to our natural state of mind.
Yes, thank goodness.
Yeah, and I think that's why this show is happening right now because of it. Because I know we're going through because everyone's going to know the truth. They're not going to just lay down and take it anymore. They're going to say, "No, I will pull my kid out of school. This is not a prison, you know."
Mhm.
And I love your approach, and I think Japan has done that, where they have an outdoor environment almost. They have it wide open, where they can walk around. There's all kinds of places to go. There's trees incorporated into the building. It's so amazing. I thought, wow,
Mm.
this is so incredible. It's like a tree house. What a fantastic
Oh,
idea!
that's very cool.
Yeah, so they lean on the trees. It's in like right in the classroom. But yeah, and those are good examples of what we could be and what we should be, because all it takes is the idea, someone with a great idea, and then making it happen. And I look
Mhm.
forward to that too happening. And I want it to happen in our lifetime, because I think mankind is going to be floating around on cloud nine when it does happen. Kids are going to be happier. People are going to be healthier. Relationships are going to be better and stronger. And with telepathy, nobody can lie. So you can't lie anymore. Politicians can't lie. Media can't lie. If we were telepathic, it's impossible. Evil will be vanquished from our lives, and
Mm.
that would be beautiful. That's what predicted that we will be telepathic, and I've heard it from other sources. I don't know if it's true, but I imagine it would be amazing. And if
And
they,
again, I believe that we already have access to that, just like all the other things we were talking about.
yeah, and they just don't know how to do it. Like astro traveling, you know,
Mhm.
you
Yep.
have to practice, you have to learn how to do it, and following the laws of nature. Yes, indeed.
Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
glad you're all here watching our show.
Yes.
We have no time limit, by the way. This could go on for hours, like our. I don't have any format with the show, so it could be 10 minutes, it could be half an hour, it could be 3 hours, and we have done 5 hours because we get into very deep conversations about things that really matter to us, and we wouldn't talk about it if we weren't excited about it. And we are. I would love to see schools like in a nature environment. That would be so amazing. Teaching the kids what plants are and what can heal. And if you feel sick, sometimes you can aloe vera and rub it on your boo boo. And there's all sorts of different beautiful knowledge, and kids are way smarter than the education system takes it for. They have way more capacity to learn, and they're
Mhm.
slowed down with our education
Yeah.
system.
Oh, I strongly believe, I'm a mom who home educated my 3 kids their whole lives, and I strongly believe that we come here already wired with everything we need in us for our purpose. And if we're taken out of being in tune with ourselves and being led by what lights us up and inspires us, if we're taken away from that and going from what lights us up and inspires us to what we be doing, we
Hmm.
lose connection with ourselves. And yeah, I really do think like we need to pay attention to what lights our kids up and inspires them, and feed that, because it is the unraveling of their purpose.
Yeah, well, happy Mother's Day. I think I wanted to say it to all the mothers out there.
Thank you.
We do value, but honestly, Mother's Day is every day. Like, I don't like having one day because really, mothers are amazing, especially divine feminines, you know, like yourself, who just glow. Some people light up a room when they enter, and that's a real spiritual thing for me. It seems a very in tune, balanced, someone with love and knowledge and wisdom and uh, you know a divine feminine and the divine masculine are both so amazing, and I want us to all go to our place, our purpose. And I think we're going in that direction, and I will do everything I can to to help that happen. Which these shows, what's going till July. In July, I'm going to, I don't know what's going to happen then, but I do know there's going to be another change, and so I don't know what's going to happen then, but this is what the focus is now, is just raising your frequencies, different ways, everything from healing bowls. And I saw a video on healing bowls. I shared it with you, but a father was using them. He had a beautiful like pink light, and the baby was like just floating around in heaven and laying around. And
Hmm.
I thought, what a beautiful thing, to
Mm.
give that peace to your child at such a young age. Another thing, another secret, uh, like I told you about putting the seed on your tongue. Now I'll give you another secret.
Mhm.
Now, if you're pregnant or if you have a baby still weaning, if you add 1 drop of iodine into their milk, whatever they're drinking, it will raise their IQ 10 to 20 points.
Mm.
I use a drop of iodine myself, and that's why there's an illusion that I'm intelligent. I think it made me smarter. I really do. And I posted on it on my Facebook, so if anybody wants to check that out, check my post. Um,
I'll just put a caveat on that. I'd be very careful with iodine, because I've had iodine given to me by a doctor, and it wound up really, really messing with my thyroid and my hormones. So,
how
and causing me heart problems.
how much
So you also need to be very
you have?
careful.
Yes, you have to be careful not to take too much. But yes, I only use 1 drop. That's it, 1 drop. So yes, you have
Mm.
to, and that's a shame. The doctor actually prescribed. Was it pill form or like what form was it in? Was it in liquid?
It was liquid. It was drops. Yep.
And how many
And,
drops?
but the thing is, I think we're all different, and we need to, like, listen to our bodies, because
Yes.
there's one thing, a modality I love called, muscle testing,
Hmm.
and, um, you can use that. I use it all the time to check with my body
Hmm.
on if it energetically is craving or needing something, it'll move towards it. And if it is not good for me, or something my body is overloaded on or doesn't
Hmm.
want at the time, I'll actually feel myself go away from it. And that is huge too. So
Hmm.
there's yeah, there's different ways, but if anyone knows about muscle testing, it's amazing. And if you're especially sensitive to energy,
Hmm.
um I can put almost anything. I can hold almost anything up to me and see if it's something that's in alignment with my body right now or not. And it'll even change throughout the day. To take something in the morning or the evening or how much, it'll tell me everything.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I know you're not supposed to take too much iodine, but I think children are very special at this point in time in history, with gifts, and I've seen it. A mother has told me um, that her 4-year-old was talking to her, and she says, "Listen to your kids, especially now." And the 4-year-old said, "How did you communicate when I was in your womb?" And the mother was shocked that she used the word womb for a 4-year-old. How would she know that word? So she's
Mm.
freaking her mother out, and her mother had to share the story. And her mother said, "Well, I would guess that my heart spoke to your heart." And the 4-year-old said, "No, hearts don't communicate to each other. I think it was my soul and your soul." She goes, "I
Yep.
think you're right." And another time, the daughter said, she was, she looked at her daughter. She was driving her to school, like pre-K, and she said she was crying but smiling. And she said, "What's wrong, honey?" And the daughter says, "I know everything." She goes, "What do you mean you know everything?" "I know everything about everything." But she had a smile and she was crying. So the mother was very
Mhm.
confused. And she says, "What do you mean?" She says, "Everything's going to be okay. By Christmas
Mhm.
this year, everybody's going to know everything." So,
Mm.
like,
That's awesome.
yeah, so being so close to the creator that young, I just loved it. I shared it as well. Um, I was so moved by that. That's where the iodine, and then the iodine information came out that the baby's IQ will jump 10, 20 points. And I want to listen to it. I have a friend that has like a 2-year old, and I said, "Listen to everything she says." Tell me everything she
Mhm.
says. I want to
Mhm.
know. Because they're so close to the creator, they have more of an understanding. And I don't see them fragile. They are fragile, but I mean, I don't see them frail like, the you know, government would have us think. I think they are smarter than we realize. The intuition and their spiritual knowledge is beyond probably most people. Their connection, just
Mhm.
like animals. Animals, their life's simpler, so they have more of a connection to the creator. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm only speculating, but
Mhm.
I will listen to a child. If a child says something, my ears are open. But you homeschooled, right? Did you?
Mhm.
So that's wonderful. I'm glad
Yep.
you got it. We were able to do that, and I'm sure you've saved them from a lot of hardship.
They have incredible hearts and they love people. They're very intuitive. One's graduated and one is making their way to college and the other one's still young, so
Huh.
exploring those options. But yeah.
So how old are, oh, you have 3 kids?
Mhm.
Huh.
My oldest is 22 and my middle is 20 and my youngest is 15.
So how is it? How does a 26-year-old have a 22-year-old? It must be nice. It
Yeah.
must be nice looking so young. I know I look in my 30s, I've been told.
Thanks. I'm 44 and
Yep.
it's fun. Yeah, I don't know.
I think your
I'm
spiritual
thankful that
I
I'm
think
healthy.
your spiritual maturity keeps you young too. Like it gives you a glow. I think that's why I look young too, because I was talking to a man younger than me, and he looked older than me. So I could
Mm.
see that. I think it's a spiritual thing. I don't know. I don't think it's,
I think it's just for me, I'm gonna give credit to being really smart about what I put in my body too. Like I'm a good eater, but I eat healthy. Like I got rid of some things are allergies. So I don't eat dairy, I don't eat gluten. I don't eat seed oils, which is huge. I don't think people realize how huge seed oils are.
mm-hmm,
I don't eat artificial crap and I avoid sugar, like,
mm-hmm,
and just keep it as real and simple as possible, which can become really amazing. And I love to play around with herbs and I love fermenting food and
mm-hmm.
I have a gluten-free sourdough that I work with, and
Hmm.
I love getting back to real food.
Yeah.
So I think that makes a big difference because when you're eating real food, you can eat tons of
Yeah.
it and it's gonna go through you like it's supposed
Yeah.
to. You're not gonna have a buildup of stuff in you. And it's not just what you eat, but the chemicals you put on your bodies, like all of the polymers and stuff, and in even our shampoos, conditioner, our body products, our clothing, like all of that is forever chemicals that build up in the body over
Mm,
time. And so if you load yourself with that, how are you gonna look over time? It's gonna build up and it's not gonna find a way out of your body, although there are some hopeful things coming out now. Um, I love the research coming out on mushrooms that will eat up plastics and stuff now too.
that's great. Yeah,
Um,
that's great news.
yeah, but we really, like, we gotta treat ourselves good, like,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
as a holistic mentor, and back to the second part was the physical wellness, and
Mhm,
so eating would definitely what you eat is important. Not a lot of people have a lot of choice, depending on your financial situation, but natural is pretty free. If you can get the seeds were made to flourish and be abundant. Like you buy one tomatoes, seed. You usually get a pack of 50 or 100, whatever. But that one tomato plant will have 20 seeds in each tomato, and that's 20 more plants. So the creator's design was for abundance. We were never meant to
mhm.
be hungry, and it's good to stick to the creator's seeds and not these GMO that with no seed, seedless watermelon. I would avoid. Heirloom. I have. I'm pretty strict on my own diet with. I want heirloom. But I mean, it's so hard. They lie to you in the grocery store. They'll say natural. They abuse the word
Mhm.
natural like it's normal to lie. I think that.
You know, I'll say too that the times I've had in my life where I've had the least money is when I ate the best, because there are ways to get it, like from community gardens,
Mm,
from nature, from your yard, from the weeds. Like I remember digging up dandelion roots and roasting them, and it was like the yummiest smell. It was like a mix of chocolate and coffee, and just that powder I made went so fast, just
chocolate.
slow roasting and drying out. Oh, yeah, like, it's the yummiest smell. Burdock root grows in abundance everywhere. Like, there is so much out there, and then when we get into making our own food, drying our own food, fermenting our own food, I mean, I tell you, eating healthy and natural has cost me a lot less in the long run than eating quick fixes all the time, right?
Mm,
And oftentimes too, you can buy once you know what to do with food, you can buy bulk for cheap. Like one time I got a huge box of like, I don't even know how many oranges, but there was definitely over 100 organic oranges for dirt cheap. I think it was like 12 bucks for the whole box. And and I remember I washed the crap out of these things. I peeled them, I dried the peels, I made powder, orange peel powder out of all the
oh,
peels. We juiced the oranges, and, we just used every part of it and preserved it in a way that we had that forever. Like, I still have orange powder, and it's amazing. Like, it tastes amazing on food, it's amazing as a face scrub. It's, like, just, or,
yeah, yeah,
people spend all this money on hair products, and I'm like, "Man, it's like, slap a banana peel on your skin. You're not gonna get any better than that." Like, you know what I mean?
yeah. But
Like, people doing
orange would be like a great little like seasoning for bread or anything. Like
Oh,
orange
it's
powder.
yummy, yeah.
Yeah, because it
Mhm.
is good. I love oranges. But yeah, what a great idea. I've never even thought of that. Never even.
It's learning how to be with our food again,
Mm-hmm.
like, again, if we were living naturally, life would revolve around food
Mm-hmm.
and nature
Yeah.
and creativity and building
Yeah.
and right? And it would be around that, everything that produced our health. Like, nowadays, it's like these giant corporate machines pump all this stuff out, and we're not even connected to any of it
Mm-hmm.
anymore, right? We just buy the box of food or we move into the boxed house or the like, and it's so unnatural and we wonder why we're so unhealthy.
Yeah. That's why I think it would be the most amazing thing to incorporate into the curriculum, and because it's like such an important knowledge for children to grow up with, which fortunately your kids did grow up with it, so that's awesome. I wish that for all kids, to learn,
Mhm.
even survival, learning how to survive, if something should happen, where they end up in the woods. God forbid, but still, you know what I mean? Like being able to survive, knowing what they can eat, what not to eat, survival skills, starting a fire, um, and yeah, there's bad kids will start fires, but you know what I mean. Generally speaking, survival skills, gardening skills, cooking skills. What plants are good, what plants are bad, and the medicinal things about plants. If you're feeling not well, there are plants that can help without a medicine cabinet, without medicines from pharmaceuticals. There's holistic medicines that are natural that we need to embrace and re-embrace. And I hope we
Mhm.
see that happen on a massive scale because mankind needs it. They need to be restored. Everything is so unnatural now, and they're making everything to designed to fail. Everything is designed to fall apart. Even the Apple phones, they you have to get a new charger because it doesn't fit the new phone. I mean, that is greed. That's all that is. There is no need to change it. And we don't need to put up with that anymore. If you have a good product, you will be successful and be happy with that. You don't need to be a billionaire, you know, just it's good for the soul to do something good for your fellow man. And if you have a good jam or a good recipe or a good spaghetti sauce, and that's healthy, it doesn't harm anyone, then, no matter what your success is, the creators is not going to let you down. You're going to do what you're going to be okay. You know, greed has ruined everything.
Mhm.
Yep.
One of my, favorite personal herbs for anxiety is just saffron. So I've learned that if I'm ever having a panic attack or if I need to help someone else with a panic attack, I will get them to put a few strands of saffron under their tongue and just hold
Mm.
it there until it becomes colorless. I would have a toothbrush prepared after because your mouth will turn a bright orangey red. But it will. I have never seen it not work. From having someone feeling like they're spiraling to feeling calm again just from saffron. And
Wow.
yeah,
I never
I
heard of that before. Fascinating.
mhm,
It's also a pretty color.
beautiful, yeah. It's
And there's
expensive. It's something I definitely wanna start growing. But all you need
fascinating.
is a few strands, you hold them under your tongue, and that will help a lot. Um,
Wow.
that has helped me a lot. So,
It's a yeah, I would definitely grow that. It's a pretty flower. I love the purple. It's kind of a purple color with an orange. Is that like an orange?
yeah, they're usually like a reddy orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth growing. So it's expensive to buy it. Probably because of the medicinal That's probably why it's expensive.
Mm.
That's
Mhm.
also greed.
Mhm.
It's just a plant. It should be the same price as all the other plants. It's just crazy how greed has just ruined everything, even the churches. I'm sorry I bring that up, but it's true.
Totally. Yep.
They could end hunger. They could house, feed, clothe the entire world with all the money they've collected. It's absolutely
Mhm.
despicable. And I'm a spiritual person, you know, so I know that greed is infiltrated everything:
Mhm.
politics, religion, food.
Yep.
Of all things, why would you mess with food? You're willing to harm people and children, like poison in children's cereal. My God, who allowed that to happen?
Mhm.
And this is corporate and government working together. This is an example of fascism, which is why it's not a good thing. Corporations shouldn't be allowed to do that and buy off politicians to pass bills that sneak in their alternative ingredients. We can do much better, and I know we will because everyone's going to know everything, like that 4-year-old said. And this
Mhm.
is a part of it. This is part of it. Pry open that third eye, you know, that's been closed.
Mm.
But social wellness is also important. And I don't know if you address this with clients that come reach out to you on the value of the friends that we keep, because
Mhm.
that's one of the 7 things, 7 points of holistic wellness is social
Mhm.
wellness. If you want to talk about the value
Sure.
of social friendships.
Well, our greatest wellness comes from the ability to be authentic. And I think the healing energy that we allow by being authentic is a huge contributor to our health. And so learning to be authentic and finding this people who are safe to be authentic with is a huge move for our health, big time. And people who understand the importance of being human together. Not perfect, but to, there's hope. There's hope when we show up imperfect and we're still loved, and others show up imperfect because it gives both us hope and others hope. When I realized I am not the only imperfect human being in the world, it gives me hope, right? When we are isolated and we holding shame and bad beliefs and all these things, and we think we're the only ones and we can't talk about it and we have to hide it and mask it and all this kind of stuff, or right? And a lot of it again comes from wiring in childhood, right? Um, then we take away our own humanness. And I think the more we can be around people who are also ready to be authentic and human, not perfect, the more we're going to heal together and the healthier communities we're going to have.
Hmm. And it's hard, like when you give yourself to someone and they're not good, not healthy for you because they have their own baggage that they bring to the table. Um, a lot of people feel trapped in relationships because they were raised to be loyal and authentic. So an authentic person could be a victim of that, and that I have seen it, with couples. Not now, but growing up, I've seen a lot more, especially in high school, and there, there's a lot of relationships that should never have happened. But a lot of that is experimenting as well. But
Mhm.
yeah, being authentic is a way, at least, to do it right on your side of it. On your side of it, and it doesn't have to be a relationship. It can be a friendship.
Mhm.
You know, and I think girls are
Family can be anything.
family. absolutely, yes, family. So it's okay to not go to a cousin's house if if they're not healthy for you. It's okay to have them out of your life. It's not being cold or cruel. It is self-preservation for your own wellness. It's not being cruel.
And again, though, if you find yourself in repeated cycles, in repeated situations, attracting repeated people,
Mm.
um, you have to realize that the common denominator is us, right? It's you.
Yeah,
So again, it goes back to our relationship with ourselves
yeah.
because we can jump out of things, but we're always going to take ourselves with us wherever we go.
Hmm.
There's a different kind of transformation that happens when you are in a relationship that is feeling unhealthy.
Hmm.
Um, and being able to stay in that until you are healthy. And because when your vibration, and I'm not saying this is always the answer, but when your vibration and your relationship with you shifts, often that situation will also shift. You won't be confused. You won't be questioning. You won't be, should I, shouldn't I? Am I good? Am I bad? There won't be confusion. It will just naturally feel like it will feel natural. It will feel clean. It will feel in alignment. There won't be confusion. There'll be clarity. And you'll
Hmm.
just be following your path because your relationship with yourself is clear, right?
Hmm. Yeah, and I would definitely advise someone that keeps repeating this pattern to go to a life coach, a holistic mental health, and find out what it is that keeps you going into being attracted to the same, uh, you know, problem. And sometimes we need help, and it's okay. It doesn't mean, you're lacking something. It just means you don't have that knowledge. Just like astro traveling, not everyone knows how to do it, but you can learn how to do it because it's something that can be done. Um, I personally don't
Mhm.
want to do it because I might go over the speed limit and scare myself.
Well, we're on a planet with a lot of different people, and we need to be willing to learn about those people. Like,
Yes.
if we not like, it's important that we learn about ourselves, like, what makes us feel loved? What's our love languages? What's our attachment style? What's,
Hmm.
like, there's so many things we can learn about ourselves, and it's equally important that we can learn about the people important to us in our lives that we are gonna be with all the time. We should learn
Yeah.
what makes them feel loved, what's their attachment styles, what's all this stuff
Hmm.
because we're going to be different and we're not gonna understand each other if we are so inward looking all the time, like, just thinking that there has to be some perfect person out there. We're all gonna be individual, we're all gonna bring different things out in each other, good and bad.
Yes.
Some for flow, some for growth, but some for expansion, and so we need to be willing to learn about each other, and if it comes to a point where our inspiration is, like, leading us somewhere new,
Hmm.
and that's on a different path than that person, then so be it, but it's not going to be confusing as long as we know we put in our best, right?
Right.
To be a good person, to be a loving person, and we also worked on healing ourselves and learning how to be in alignment for ourselves so that we can be our best person, putting our best foot forward as well
Hmm.
in this world, right?
Yeah, and I look at it that way too. As, like when bad things happen, they are a lesson. They are, making your skin a little tougher. And I think that's because, it prepares us for what's our destiny, our fate, what's going to happen later on. I think our life prepares us for our purpose.
Is one thing I've learned is if you come out of any relationship where you are blaming the other person for your problems, you're gonna go into the next one creating the same thing because until you see how you contributed to it,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter how big or how small, how you allowed it,
Right.
how
Yep.
you how you aligned with it in whatever way that you did,
Hmm.
and what in you. what in you kept you there, right?
Yeah.
Or what in you helped create the cycle. If you don't see the part you played in creating the chaos, then it doesn't matter where you go, it'll keep going. When you leave a relationship and you can completely see all parts of you and the parts you played in it and how you created it, and become conscious of yourself and where those came from, where those roots came from in your history, in your childhood, in with your parents, like wherever, like past traumas from relationships, if you don't see that,
Mhm.
then you're not going to grow past it. You're gonna just keep going into it.
Well, I mean, I haven't dated in 11 years because I met my first narcissistic sociopath. And I don't think I've met anyone worse than that person because it's your fault I hit you. I've been pushed down the
Mm,
stairs. I mean, this girl was crazy and violent, very violent. And I'm not violent. You know, I want to find the solution. Um, but I was tricked into that relationship because she had a boyfriend in the beginning, and I wanted to, I became friends with her and her boyfriend, and she pretended he assaulted her to like move from across the country to me. Anyway, it was entrapment. I was trapped. She was all of a sudden she was living with me, and she just kind of used her sexual uh, luring me. Like she used her attractiveness to move and get rid of the father of the child and call him the worst of the worst when he wasn't. She
mm,
lied to me. She made him lose his son. And it was absolutely tragic story that she was willing to do that to this man and to me. And then when she was done with me, then it was violence all the time. 3 times a week, I was assaulted by this woman. And because of her, it's not that I have trust issues. I'm just been broken. I don't think I can be in a relationship. And I think I don't know. I don't I don't know why I started talking about this, but yeah, I
mhm.
don't think I think what brought me into that relationship was my compassion, my empathy, because I believed her that she was assaulted by this man. So it's like, yeah, okay, of course you can come here. And so I don't think it was. I think my empathy can um, get me targeted by bad people. And for
Mhm.
that reason, I knew my vulnerability, so I remained single. I just don't make myself available. I'm very flirty, but I really don't pursue that. Like I don't pursue women. But if someone's beautiful, I'll say you're beautiful. If their dress is nice, I'll say you have a beautiful dress. You know what I mean? I'm very complimentary, and I don't shy away from telling someone they have beautiful eyes. I don't hide how I feel that way, but I don't pursue relationships, and I don't regret that. Even though it's been 11 years, I don't regret that. I really believe I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And
That's good.
there's a lot of peace in that. I feel very at peace in the truth. And I love everyone that's been on my show. I just do. I just so thankful that I'm able to share their message with others, and be accessible to mankind. And I really, honestly, my faith is so strong that I just believe that the people that need the message will get it. It doesn't have to, I never say subscribe and like and share. I don't do that at all. That's not who I am at all. I don't want fame and fortune. It's not about me at all. It's about the creator. It's about my guest. It's about the purpose of the show. And I've been very fortunate and very lucky, and I feel very complete in that. I don't feel like I'm missing, even though I love being in relationships. I've had wonderful relationships, and I treasure that. and I also do well in relationships. But I think I'm meant to be single at this time. I'm meant to do this. I feel like I'm working for the Creator. I'm doing God's work.
And and I think as humans, we're always in relationship.
Hmm.
It doesn't mean we have to be in romantic relationship, whether it's with our neighbor or a child or
Hmm.
even this online platform, we are all relating with each other,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Being in relation
Hmm.
with each other. So, I mean, so there's always ways to grow and expand. I'm really sorry that happened to you.
That's a,
And sounds like she may have had a disorder of some sort
yes.
that made her a little bit
Mm-hmm.
wild, possibly. And I'm glad that you've, in that discovered your worth enough to get out of it. And,
Mm-hmm.
even choosing the
Yeah,
path that you've chosen is a part of your own healing, right?
yeah. Like I don't feel bitter about it. Um,
Mhm.
I'm sad for the child. I'm sad for the father of the child. Um, there's no hate in my heart for her, or I'm sad for her because as a narcissist, she has no guilt, and so there's no way for her to heal because she's not responsible, you know. And so there's no way out for her. So I'm sad for that. I'm sad for anyone who gets involved with her and becomes a victim of her because she lies. She's a
Mhm.
narcissistic sociopath, so she has no problem lying. She, what do you call it? Uh, anyway, but yeah,
But those are actual brain disorders,
yes,
and
yes.
they have actually met people who have become aware of that
Hmm.
because they think they're like everyone else and they don't realize that they're not. And so even
Hmm.
with help, they can become aware that they think differently, that other
Yep.
people feel things that they don't, that um
Yeah.
just how they operate. And a lot of that is rooted in deep shame, but sometimes straight out um, brain issues, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone can
Absolutely.
come be aware on a different level,
Hmm.
even of their needs for accountability, right?
Yep. And I feel sad because I obviously did research to try to help her. I even came up with vitamins and things that could help her. But in the end, it says there's no treatment for it. Hi, Sandy. She was a fan when I was a rock and roll piano player on tour, and that was a long time ago, Sandy. I don't even know how long it's been. 80s, 1980s, when I was the lead singer of a band and traveled all across Ontario. Was a big star.
Very
I
cool.
really enjoyed. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed. I loved doing a song and seeing couples dancing together. I
Mm.
just loved being a part of the moment. It was
Mhm.
very special for me. And Sandy was one of the. Sandy was a great fan. Every time I was in Toronto, she was there, and would. I was wireless. I had a wireless microphone, so I would go into the audience and dance with her while I was singing. So it was really cute. But she had a boyfriend, so that's that. It was just a dance, but yeah, it's
Mhm.
nice that I still have friends from that era, because I stopped doing that in 2000. So it's been 26 years, and I was a fan of yours. Yes, you had crazy hair too. I remember your hair. It was puffy. You remember the puffy hair they used to have in the 80s?
Mm.
But you pulled it off. You made it look good. But thanks for joining. Thanks for joining us, Sandy. I appreciate you. So we've got two more points to get to,
All right.
and to cover the holistic wellness, environmental wellness is our next point. Environmental. So I guess that would be what we talked about earlier: LED lights,
Mhm. Totally.
the fluorescent lights in classrooms. Um,
Mhm.
so environment is important, and yes,
Yes.
I have talked about it. I have talked about it. I changed all my light bulbs, and that would be one aspect. If you have any other aspects that you want to just add to that to expand on just light bulbs.
Well, I think, yeah, again, our environments are definitely affecting us not being out in nature again. Also, I love the tree example or the plant example. If a plant isn't thriving or doing well or whatever, I mean, you don't yell at the plant, you check the environment, the soil, the air, the sunlight, like you adjust it so that that plant can thrive. And yet we don't
Hmm.
think to do that with ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
Mhm. Yep.
But also smart meters,
Mm.
that have uh, emitting radiation.
Mhm.
Those, now these are environmental things that we really don't have a lot of control over. I mean, you can pay. I mean, they make you pay. First, they force you to change it, then they make you charge you for keeping it analog. Oh, just what a disgrace.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, it's actually overpulsing, and that's why everyone's bill went up. So
Mm.
Kathleen Wynne here in Ontario said it's a cleaner energy, but it's actually not.
Mm.
It's not at all. It's actually erratic and overpulsing, and that's why people are paying more. So it was a scam. It was a bloody scam. Even the radiation that it emits is not what they say it is. I've seen tests being done on them, and uh, they're they're pulsing more than they should. And that's just one example of
Totally.
environmental wellness. Now, I
Mhm.
suppose we could extend that to. Um, I think that's all that means is those sorts of things, right? Environmental. Um, I can't
Yeah.
I can't
I
think of
think
anything else
too,
that it would cover.
I'll put in there too that I think the health of the earth in general is a
Mm,
reflection of our health, of how healthy we are because we're so disconnected from it. Mhm. What was the
yeah,
last one?
yeah, like glyphosate being sprayed.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm the schools. Yeah, the lighting of the schools. I mean, oh my God.
Mhm.
I did some research um, on that, and I was not happy.
Yeah,
Now
or
I'm trying to.
even microwaves mutating our food and then putting it in our bodies. Like, I haven't owned a microwave in so freaking long, but there's still people who use them.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I don't use it. Yep,
Mhm.
I never use it. My landlord left one in the apartment, and I said I'm not going to use it
Mhm.
ever, ever. Now I'm trying to find an outdoor school that I remember seeing. Outdoor school. I was hoping I could find it because it was just so amazing. I was hoping to be able to show it because it's just so amazing. What a great idea to have like the school uh, concept being inside and outside. So there's shade, so you don't get sunburned while you're in classroom.
Mhm.
But I saw one that was just so incredible with I think it. Um, no,
Uh,
that's not it. But yeah,
there's a couple here too, Waldorf or something, and, um,
yeah, you could share a screen if you find something. But yeah,
yeah, I'm not
I
sure how to do that.
yeah, the share screen is right on the bottom. I think I have to like stop sharing myself, but then you can share. It is
Mm.
right beside the video.
I'm good.
It looks
I'm
like a
not gonna play
TV.
with that today.
Yeah, yeah, you can do everything. You can share this on your stream. Now, I tried to go on your Instagram. It's gone. Are you out of Instagram now?
No,
The
I'm on
link.
Instagram. I'm not very active on it, but I
Oh,
am.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. The links aren't working, just so you know. So you may have to redo your links on your page.
Hmm.
But yeah. So are you
I'm
all?
not familiar with this platform Restream at all. I've never been on it. I've only done with StreamYard, so I'm not sure how to use
Yes.
any of this. So,
Yes, we
mhm,
were on StreamYard before, um,
mhm,
and I switched over to Restream. It's the same for me. What I liked about it, and the reason why I changed is because of all the backgrounds. Like, let me
mm,
see if you can see the background. See, you have like a moon behind you, and there's a moon behind you on the backdrop too. So
mhm.
they almost match up perfectly.
Yeah.
That's the last month's full moon. That's a flower moon.
Mm,
Or is it this month? Let me see here. I go. I follow a lunar calendar because I'm loony. April was the where is it? April, the pink moon. So this is the pink moon from April.
mm.
This month is the flower moon. So I haven't changed that yet.
Oh, so much happened on my birthday with the planets and stuff. It was
Oh my
crazy.
God. Yes.
Yeah, so that was really cool.
And we have the year of the dragon, or year of the horse, sorry. If you follow the Chinese calendar, the year of the horse. And I do love that picture too. So yeah, so it's important that you are aware of your environment, and definitely light bulbs is definitely one thing you can do. They do have covers for smart meters that will at least block, and they did take lead out of
Yeah.
paint, not for our safety, but because it blocks the emitters, the radiation. So
Mhm.
if you, and they do have a radiation blocking paint available. It's more
Yeah.
expensive, but you can buy it if you are experiencing problems.
Mhm. You can also
Another,
get grounding sheets. You can turn off your Wi-Fi or if possible even your power at night.
yes,
Um there's a lot of things you can do. But
yes,
environment-wise, one thing I learned too because a lot of problems are anything to do with hormones or thyroid or anything is usually to do with our adrenal glands. And the
mm,
best way to reset adrenal glands is to go camping because if you naturally are exposed to the sun rising and setting, the sounds of the birds, the change in temperature, the temperature that you're sleeping in, what you're waking to, going to sleep to,
mm,
even the frequency of fire is the same as the beta waves that we sleep to. And so just knowing that in nature we are set up to get back to our natural circadian rhythm. If you ever need a reset of your adrenal glands, if you're struggling with hormones, sleep, thyroid issues, energy issues, anything like that, your best bet is to get into nature and be in alignment with nature's natural rhythm for a few days
mm.
and let that completely reset you.
Yeah, I have Wi-Fi and I turned it off. I unplugged it.
Oh
So
yeah,
I'm
you
I'm
can get tethered
definitely.
internet as well.
Oh,
So that it's,
yeah,
like, directly connected by a wire instead of Wi-Fi in the air. You can do
yeah.
that to your house better too, right? Mhm.
Yeah, and these are all new for me. I only changed my light bulbs a few months ago, but I've been living, 11 years with these LEDs, thinking I was saving the planet while I'm actually doing harm. And I've seen a test on the LEDs where you could hear, you could hear the effects.
Um,
And I was
looking
pretty shocked. The Chinese ones, uh, they were pretty bad. The ones with mercury in it, I think it's like a hazmat situation if you break them. Talk about
mm,
dangerous. Are you kidding me? But the LEDs were the worst. And
Mm,
I think I posted about that as well. But yeah, I'm still learning all these things, but environmental definitely is important.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, and looking for full spectrum light bulbs as well,
Mm-hmm.
as much as you can. Yeah, it's all very interesting to research, but again, nature is our biggest medicine. So even if, like, when it comes to circadian rhythm, the best thing you can do is to get a better sleeping habit is to not eat after 7 and to eat for especially for women 30 minutes within waking up because you have a cortisol spike within 30 minutes of waking up. So
Mm-hmm.
to curve that, have something quick to eat and get your eyes in the sun will turn off melatonin production so that you feel more awake. Like forget the caffeine and whatever. Get your eyes out in the sun and it will turn off the melatonin production and allow you to feel more awake. You will wake up naturally if you stop eating by 7 because your body will be ready to eat early in the morning. It will wake you up naturally. Plus, you'll have a more restful sleep because your body's not digesting food and you'll be able to sleep deeper. And getting your feet on the ground in the morning to ground is also really good. That cold air, that fresh air is really good. Like, there's so many things we can do by just lining ourselves up with nature.
Mm-hmm. All right, we have one more point. The 7 points of holistic wellness. And this one I'm not really sure about because it's called intellectual wellness. So
Okay.
it I can see occupational wellness is, well, it's not intellectual, but it is like your capacity to do something and you have a job and you're capable of doing it, so you have the intelligence to do it. So I can't really define intellectual wellness, but you'll have to help me on that one.
Well, learning, not being aware of things, not knowing things can harm us because then we're just going along with the crowd, right? So being intelligent isn't a bad thing. Um, I would prefer the word wisdom. We can learn
Okay.
lots of things, but it's not
Mm,
really nothing we learn will be good or bad until it becomes wisdom, right? Through experience. Experiential knowledge, I think, is far more valuable than just
mm.
being told something and believing it or not.
Have it?
That's why I'm
Yeah.
really careful. What can I actually observe with my own eyes? What can I actually sense with my own senses? Because anyone can say anything. Anyone could say, "Oh, a billion years ago, this and this way up there where you can't see anything, and
Mm,
that, and whatever." Right? Like this invisible entity or this like anything you can't see, people can make up whatever they want and you choose your belief around it. But if again, the simpler you get back to simplicity,
mm,
is usually the closer we get to truth and the greater the ability to heal because anything we can't know and that feels like it's bigger than us is a road to disempowerment because we if we feel like we don't have any control, we don't have any power, it's just something out there outside of us that's hurting us and there's nothing we can do and we have to be afraid of this and that and the other thing. It's very disempowering.
mm-hmm.
So I think wisdom comes from discernment, you know?
So we have increased clarity
Mhm.
on everyday decisions. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, absolutely. Now it makes more sense. That was the one that I really couldn't really, figure out what it meant. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um, and I hope we've been helpful. Uh, you're are you coming back next Monday?
I am hoping so. I will keep in touch just in
I know
case.
it's on your calendar.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I might actually be going to help out with a project which will take me out of town for a bit if that
Yep,
happens. So I may
yep,
not be able to, but I'm hoping that it will work out.
yeah, and the time isn't important. Like when you get home, if you feel it, I'm very flexible. I just know that we have to do it.
Sounds
And
good.
perhaps we'll talk about spiritual things and religions and getting closer to God and empowering people's faith, hopefully, and helping them to understand like the between the cloud of misinformation that
Mhm.
we are getting. And I think that's going to be a great show, and I look forward to that. I want to thank you so much for your time. Um, my door's always open. Any show that I do on Raising Frequencies, it will be the same link, and you're welcome to join us. Any show. I'm glad I was able to have you all to myself because I think holistic wellness is so important and kind of your forte. So I'm grateful for your wisdom, knowledge, and honesty. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for having me and inspiring all the goodness to come out so people can hopefully benefit from our conversation.
Yes, I hope so, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Great.
And everyone at home, I thank you for joining us, and I hope we've been helpful. Hopefully, I learned something today, and I get very excited when I learn something new, and I look forward to. I got Barrett tuning in coming on Wednesday, and we are going to be talking about Jesus. So perhaps Angeleen will join us in that. So it is going to be uh, ideological. It's going to be a religious week. We're going to be talking about different religions and different ideologies and perspectives, and hopefully we'll shed some light on some of the darkness that you may have experienced. Because not all doctors will tell you about holistic medicine, and not all priests will tell you secrets and things that will empower you. I think we've got a slave system based on greed, and that has ruined a lot of things in our lives. And I want to be a part of undoing all of that and restoring what we were intended to be, who we were intended to be. And I hope this has been helpful. Thank you all for joining me. We'll see you next time, Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll see you.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.